I have my computer plugged in, so there will be an actual recording. And yep, we have recording going now, so I'll put on my professional face for those who come later.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't have much of a professional face. But we're at 7:02, so I always say, why punish the prompt? And I will respect your time and be done by 8 because I don't know about you guys, but my Netflix has some really good shows ready for this evening. So we don't want to pass on that. So I'm going to share my screen. I do have a formal agenda for this evening because I just want to review what we went over a little bit last time for those of you who may have missed it. I hope you all got the notes, but I'm not going to go over the notes, but I am just going to recap sort of some of the groups that we sort of talked about last time. But if you didn't get the meeting minutes and you'd like them, please drop your email in the chat. And you know what? I'm going to set up a page on the website as well, Christine, if you don't mind. I know you kind
Yep,
of do that.
absolutely.
Is Rebecca on the call, by the way? I
She's
know there's
not.
a
I have not spoken with her yet.
Okay, but I'll make sure
So,
to touch base with her. But I'll set up a page on the website and I'll make sure to post minutes from each meeting there and recordings. And I'll put those on our YouTube channel as well.
Yep.
But
Can I
anyways, again,
make a simple request at the beginning here if I'm not out of order?
no.
I was looking at the district, website, and
Hmm.
under where it has site pages, I
Hmm.
think, we list other, the district grants and this sort of thing, but I think we also need to include the Interact Rotaract grants as a category. So when you click on it, people can pick up the application and learn about how to apply. And that would be a real, I could send you stuff that I think may be ready for it if you just add that in, if that would be
Hmm.
okay. That would be great.
Yes, I
Yes.
don't think that's a bad suggestion, Dave.
Okay, good. No objection.
Absolutely. No,
I'll start working on it. We'll get it together for you.
absolutely.
I
Yes, that'd
don't,
be lovely.
yeah, did you get the
I,
Interact and
yes.
Rotaract Interact conference stuff?
Yes, I got that and I will put that up for you, my friend. I
Okay,
am
good.
just working on getting proper formatting up for that. So I will
Okay,
get that
great.
up for you. Thank you for sending that to me.
Yeah, and thank you for
Um,
letting me interrupt your agenda.
no, there's no interruptions. We are here to powwow and to be a think tank. So please interrupt at any time. That's what we're here to do. I am not running this meeting. I am simply facilitating. So please stop me at any time. So just, quick recap. Um, so oh, I'm sorry. If I knew how, I'd turn off my bumps. But so please forgive interruptions. I get about 5,000 emails a day. So in any case, so we talked last time about a couple of possible, shoot off groups. And, my hope is what will come out of this is member engaged groups that can help our district thrive.
Sure.
That will come from this central group. So some of those that, we talked about or have thought about are, obviously we have a membership committee. It is thriving and has many members, but, I'm sure Joanne is not adverse to many hands, but I know you have quite a few at this time, but if you're passionate about that, I'm sure she wouldn't mind hearing from you. I hope I'm not speaking out of order, Joanne.
No, not at all.
Okay. So again, that one area I think, and the reason I had asked if Rebecca was on the call, Rebecca is the head of our public image person. Right now, we don't have a committee for that, but I think along with that goes marketing. And I think that's something, I think many of you have heard the saying that Rotary is like the best kept secret out there, right? And we don't want that to be the case. So we want people to know about us. I actually just shared something on my personal Facebook page. Friend me if you haven't already. So marketing and public image is going to be huge. I would really like volunteers for that. So please email me if you're interested in getting involved with that, you know, I think in the 21st century, we really need to be looking at different ways to get our name out there other than, you know, I think our local papers are great because people actually read those, but I think print is perhaps not always the best way. And we need to be looking at, you know, things like Instagram and Snapchat and, you know, digital media and all that. I'm not the expert in that. I don't pretend to be. I'm not as young as I used to be. My teenager knows more about it for sure. Who just picked out his first car today. I just have to put that into the ether because I'm freaking out a little bit. But anyways, so again, I'm not the expert, but I am looking for those who know more than I. So please, if you're interested, I think that's something we really need help with. I really, really, really want to have a thriving group who are working on getting our name out there so we can increase. Again, that goes right back to membership. We want people to know about us. We want people to be interested in joining us, you know, maybe first as volunteers, but then eventually as members. District events, again, that is something that those take a lot of effort to put on. It should not just be one person and the same old people putting those together. We want things that are fun and engaging and that we're engaging more of our membership in. And to do that, we need ideas from more people. So again, if you're interested in helping out in one or more than one event that we put on, or you just think you have a great way to make any of our events more fun and engaging, please let me know. I'm not asking you to make a 5-year commitment. If there's one particular event you think you can make better by helping out in any way, let me know. Again, email me. Again, none of these are like 10-year commitments. Just, you know, if you're interested in serving for 6 months or a year, great. I'll take it. Or if you know somebody in your club or a sister club or whatever, or who's maybe not a Rotarian but has a specialty in marketing and may be able to help us out with our website or our Facebook page or setting up a thriving Instagram following, let me know. Polio, I'll talk about a little bit later, but again, I'm going to need some help with the campaign I'm looking to start next year. And fundraising, you know, I think helping clubs fundraise so they can do more good in their communities is something we can help them with. So if we can have a group who helps in that arena and can provide support to our clubs, that would be fantastic. I talked a lot. I'm going to shut up for a second.
Yeah. One thing, April, that's going to happen next week is the beginning of a district youth services committee. And I'd love you to add that in there. So there'd be district youth services committee. And you know, I know we have, you know, a wonderful leader in the international exchange program on this call. And I want to be sure he's aware of that as well, because these things feed into each other, you know, interact. One year we had 50% of the RILA students were from Interact, you know, and they went back and they got all enthused, and you know, it's wonderful to have RILA, but we need a place where they can go. A lot of our Interact clubs over the years supported the exchange students when they came in. They knew they had an Interact club that would kind of adopt them and do stuff with them and do planning.
Absolutely.
You know, I think, you know, the interface, the leadership that you can get if we can get some, you know, Rotaract clubs, Putnam still has a good one. You know, so that's a, you know, I think that would be good. And there's a meeting next week, I think, to kind of start on this thing. You know, I can, you know, maybe just forward it to everybody that was on your email to this event.
Sure, absolutely. So yes, absolutely. So yeah, so definitely if youth is your passion, that many hands make light work. So so moving on, just, you know, again, I want to I'm not gonna bore you. And Eileen, I just want to make sure, can I share the district fundraising analysis report? Is that appropriate?
Sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure that wasn't like a
No,
something
it doesn't show
Right, it doesn't show individual. Yeah, nothing like that. So, sorry, let me just, I get blocked by the sharing docking blah 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 thing. Okay, so here it is. Okay, can you see the district fundraising analysis report? Or are you still seeing the other screen?
Yeah.
I'm still seeing your agenda.
Okay, let me stop and reshare. All right. Okay. So I just wanted to share this and talk about you know, again, I am focused on, my sphere of influence will be next year as district governor. So I'm going to share a little bit about what I'd like to see in my year. But again, this trickles back into this year. So, this is certainly not something that has to wait for July 1 of 2025. So, but I'm going to kind of share what I'm hoping to see. But of course, we want to start now, right? So, but I want you guys all to be aware that, where we're at and where it would be great to go. So, and just sort of the numbers and where we can make big impacts, right? So, I'm just going to look at last year. So, and to our credit, right? We're over goal every single year in all, in both polio and annual fund. So that's fantastic. And this year we're over halfway to our goal. That's great. And almost halfway to our polio goal. And that's fantastic. So, I mean, to our credit, that's awesome. But, frankly, we could do better, right? So let's try to do better. So to that end, you can see that, we still have some clubs that aren't giving. So that's something that we could do better in just, clubs giving, right? We are seeing members still giving more than $100 per member. That's fantastic. So, but, what can we do? So, I think that people have to be inspired to give. And I think we do a great job of doing that. Eileen and Prasad, to their credit, I always say to my sister district governors elect that, I am so fortunate to have them in our district. So, it's certainly, we are so fortunate in that regard. But, I think that one area that we could do better is this number here, Rotary Direct participants. We have just under, I believe, now 1,500 members in our district, and we only have 72 people who participate in Rotary Direct, which is automatic giving. And I'm one of those 72, I will say. And so that's a very low number. So I think that's one of those things that we could do better, getting the word out about. And that's very easy to do. It can be set up online, or there is a paper form to set that up. So I think that's one area we could educate our members about. And to that end, I'd really love to see us increase our total giving. But most especially around polio, that's going to be one of two of my primary focuses during my district governor year. One of which is this group, the Way Ahead group, which Vin has so kindly let me start now, because I think we have to start early to be successful later. And with polio, my focus is going to be increasing members of the Polio Plus Society, which is those members who commit to giving at least $100 a year to polio. And so we'll talk about that a lot more, over the coming months and next year. But again, I'll need a few people to help me with, my evil plans I'm concocting with some of my sister districts to have a campaign around that. But with the hope that we can raise additional funds in those areas. I don't want to put any dollar amounts on it, but I just want to make people aware of kind of where we stand. or not yet. I don't want to put dollar amounts on it. I think it's kind of too early to do that, but I just wanted to share that information of kind of where we are. I think we do a fantastic job for, the size of our district. And again, we're always hitting those goals. And I think that's really a testament to our fantastic foundation committee. And I really applaud them for all the hard work they do. So thank you so much to you all. Eileen Prasad and the rest of the foundation committee who are just fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to our upcoming foundation event, which I know will be inspirational. So thank you guys so much there. Let me go back into the agenda. Oh, and I see Milt. Thank you. And I know Milt will tell you we need more Paul Harris Society members. Oop, I shared the wrong screen. Sorry. And I think Rotary Direct is an excellent way to promote the Paul Harris Society, by the way. I don't know. I hope you'd agree with me, Milt.
Can I?
Yeah, of course you can.
Hi there. The video stopped, it says. Hold on, your microphone is unmuted. Okay, so if you can hear me anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, we lost you, Milt. You're muted.
To speak. Okay.
There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I don't see my video, but anyway. So, yeah, I love Paul Harris Society to grow. We're 44 members in the Paul Harris Society right now in District 7890. And not all of them are really active participants because I'm going back a year more report. But the point is, of those 44, if they were all participants, which they are not, okay, they represent 3% of our district, meaning we have 1,500 members in 7890, and 44 are Paul Harris Society members if they were all participating, which they're not. And that 3% contributes 32% of our giving in the district. 3% equals 32%. Only important to understand they're committed to helping Rotary. So the more Paul Harris Society, and of those, not half of them are signed up on direct, Rotary Direct, unfortunately. And some do annual, some do, quarterly, some do, biannual. But it's something to really focus on. I think is a opportunity for our district to increase. If we double the Paul Harris Society members and get to 100, we'll have a very robust and generous district.
Yeah, I agree with you, Milt. And I think, at least for, us normal people out there who, it's not easy to write $1,000 check once a year for, it's less than $100 a month. And it's a lot easier to set up that Rotary Direct for, $100 a month, than to, write that $1,000 check once a year. So I think that's the benefit of Rotary Direct is it doesn't hurt so much when it's coming out monthly or quarterly. So, and I travel with Rotary Direct forms to clubs just in case, So, yeah.
Can you hear me? Am I talking? Okay. So if of the, I'm not sure, how many clubs do we have in the district?
53.
53. If we just get one member from every club, you'd be there. Yeah. So the question is there one member in every one of the 53 clubs who would be considered a candidate to contribute $1,000 a year, $250 a quarter, could be $1,875 a month, whatever it is. Okay. It's how much is there one member in every club that might have done well in the market this year and would give $1,000 to Rotary over the next year? That's my question. And the question is, who are they?
Yeah. And I think that goes back to, we kind of talked about this group being district champions, right? So maybe that's something individuals can talk about at the club level. putting out that challenge, who's going to be that person in our club or in our sister clubs or such. So something to chew on for folks, maybe that's an idea.
Okay.
Just a thought. I don't know. What do other people think? I know I've been talking a lot and such. So any other thoughts from the group? Eileen.
Oh, just a couple of things. When you were going over the district fundraising analysis, it's our goals could be a lot better because they're not every club. I think that was 52% or something like that of our clubs have put their goals in.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them kind of, I hate to use the term, they kind of lowball the number.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't want to commit to too much because, they don't have a stretch goal for
Mhm.
fear of not reaching it. And what's interesting when you go through the monthly contribution report, and that lists all the clubs and, what they've given, there are many of the clubs that do not have goals, but have given to the
Mhm.
Rotary Foundation. So
Mhm.
it's,
True.
these, like, they don't correlate.
Yeah.
And
But we like to look on the bright side a little bit, right?
yes, you like to, but I mean, that's sometimes you just have to be,
Yeah.
some people don't put their goals in and they have this enormous amount of money that comes.
Right, right.
So the
Um,
important thing, I'd rather have an individual give something to the Rotary Foundation or a club than put their goals in and give nothing. So I
Yeah,
have to look at it that way.
absolutely.
The other thing is we did have a foundation workshop, whenever it was. Now I'm so busy with the brunch that I can't remember when it was. And I think, and I have done a couple of club visits. Particularly, I went to Manchester, and they wanted the nuts and bolts of the foundation, that's what I did. And I talked about the various club banners that a club could earn by, various permutations of giving to the Rotary Foundation. And they said, we have to get that every Rotarian every year banner. And I think maybe the solution to getting people psyched about the foundation is to actually go to the clubs. Obviously, they have to be willing to have someone from the foundation committee or someone who knows about the foundation come. And just, whether, it depends on the club. Some of them want to know the nuts and bolts of the foundation, because I always ask. And some of them want inspirational stories about the projects that have been funded by the foundation and the success and the impact of those. So I think, that is probably a way. And I know Milt has got, how do you find out who might be interested or could, may want to be a Paul Harris Society member, is if you go to a club and you talk about it, that may light a light bulb in somebody's head. You may not know that it even exists. And it's a hard thing calling people up on the phone. Would you like to be Paul Harris Fellow, Society member, that kind of thing. So it's getting the word out about these things. And I think down on the club level.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Am I okay on mute? No, I'm there. Okay. So of the Paul Harris Society 44 members, 8 of them are of the 44 who are Paul Harris Society. There are also 8 who are not in the Paul Harris Society that are on auto pay from Rotary Direct. To me, those kind of 8 would be prime candidates. I don't know them, but I need to know if I talk to whoever's in the club that knows these people. I'm not going to cold call them, but if I knew who they were or how much they're giving, let's say they're giving $200 a year on auto pay, whatever it is, what number they're giving. I don't see it, but there's people that I can see in our district that are on auto pay who are not members of Paul Harris Society. I have names, I just don't know who they are.
Yeah. Do you have an actual list of the names there in front of you?
Of course.
I do 1,000 a year. Am I in there?
Hold on.
Dave Mangs?
In West Hartford.
Yeah. somehow I keep getting dropped. It doesn't really matter, I suppose.
No, you're on Paul Harris as a Paul Harris Society member, but you're not on auto pay. You're not on.
No, I don't do auto pay. I sort of
Mm-hmm.
do it, with Eileen usually.
So,
If
I
she
mean,
also-
I
yeah.
just
And
want to
he
make,
does, and
just wanna
Dave
make
does
your
an
life-
excellent job, and the way he does it works out very well. So,
Yeah.
he does a
Yeah,
really.
But
I'm not an
anyways, yeah.
auto pay kind of guy.
he
Yeah,
keeps
yeah.
all the foundation numbers up, so.
Yeah.
Am I on the
So,
list?
let me just,
Good job.
can I use the name on this, Paul?
I would not. I don't think this is probably, yeah.
Okay.
But Christy had her hand up there.
Oh, I said,
Christy?
am I on the list? Am I on the list?
What's your name?
Christy Bodine, Amherst Club.
Amherst, hold on. You're both. You're Paul Harris Society and Direct.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let me just say this. Maybe this will help. And I'm not going to say names, okay? But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the Avon Canton Club who are on Rotary Direct but are not Paul Harris Society members.
Mhm.
Maybe they're giving less than 1,000.
Could be, but could they be a Paul Harris Society?
We
If
can,
they're-
I can, you know what, Milt, if we have a separate call, I can look
Sure.
into
No,
that
no,
for you.
I'm just bringing up information that I don't
Mhm.
understand. I
Mhm.
just don't
Yeah.
understand. And I'm not going to cold call them and say,
Right.
I need to know if anybody in the club knows who they are and
Yeah.
see if they know how to approach
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If on the other hand they are doing 1,000 a year in one way or another, calling and recognizing and just thanking them, for that. And if they aren't, thanking them for the fact that they're in foundation, they're on a direct pay basis, and it's wonderful. I just wanted to say, you're what makes Rotary special, and so it's not like cold calling. It's more to call and thank them for being there. But then there's the ask. If they're not doing $250 a quarter or $100 a month, which would bring them up to $1,200. That's when you say, you could be a Paul Harris and get that recognition. I mean, that's the kind of thing that goes on your obituary. You want to, create a bit of a legacy for yourself here.
Yeah. Well, that's not the obituary part, but the record.
Well, at our age, we think about these
recognition-
things. I have to tell you.
Yeah, the recognition part kind of leads me into my next topic, which is a good way to segue. Thank you, Dave. And that, again, is looking forward. Again, I want to sort of put out my shameless plug for a few people to help me with my polio campaign next year. So please let me know if you're interested. And again, this will be a challenge to the district to basically increase the number of Polio Plus Society members that we have. To that end, we will be talking about polio a lot over the next year, so I won't bore you too much tonight. But again, we have lots of members who qualify for the Polio Plus Society, but have not made that commitment per se, and that is not something that's recognized through any official reporting through Rotary. It's something we recognize or we have to keep track of manually at the district level. So, if you know somebody who's giving more than $100 a year to polio, or you yourself are, and you haven't you don't have your PIN and you haven't made that commitment, please let Prasad or myself know, and we'll make sure you are recognized for that, because it's important that we keep going. As many of you may know, there's been a concerning increase this year in wild polio cases in Afghanistan and Pakistan, mainly due to geopolitical issues in that area of the world. So it's as important as ever that we continue to give and to work towards eradication. And we have kids keep being born, and we have to keep vaccinating them. They just keep happening. So we also have to keep vaccinating children. So that's important as well. So yes, Milt, I believe you wanted to say something.
So just an idea, okay? I mean, I want to sign up for Polio Society, right?
please.
Here's my problem. It just keeps on flying by me. I don't see it. So my
Mhm.
question is, can we send out to the district members, club members, an
Mhm.
email that has a link that
Mhm.
says your $100 donation for Polio Plus will equal $300? Just click on this link and make your donation now.
Yes, yes, there will be much of that coming. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm. Absolutely.
That's how you're going to catch me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you $100. I just don't know how to do it.
Yep. There will be many improvements in that area. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Yep. And to that end, so what I will do is just make a note. Communication on site.
Aren't we in polio month?
We are, and in fact, World Polio Day is next Thursday, October 24th.
Right.
And I will send out, or I'll drop in the chat at some point before the end of our call. There's a link. If your club does not have a plan, I'll drop a link, direct link here. Let's see.
Able to take a credit card?
Yep, you can go right to myrotary.org and make your donation. And using this link, which I will put in the chat now. So please make your donation to the Polio Plus Fund for the year, the month, the day. And that will bring you right to the Polio Plus donation page on myrotary.org. If you do not have a login for myrotary.org or have any questions about how to donate to Polio Plus, I am very happy to fill out the form for you and send in a check. I will get your donation to Rotary and make sure you get recognition for it. So you just let me know and I'll make sure it happens. I am committed to polio, so I'll make sure it happens. You just ping me, email me, send up a smoke signal, call me. I'll make sure it happens. So absolutely. So again, I'm looking for friends to help me in this endeavor. We have a little work to do. President-elects will get full information at Northeast Pels on this campaign and will help me roll it out in the new Rotary year. So
everything melt.
anything okay, so real quick before I turn it over to Christine because she wanted a few minutes. So also other than financial, what I would also like to talk about maybe for, the next 10 minutes is, ways to recognize members at all levels other than dollar amounts. I think, our members put in a lot of sweat, blood, and tears to Rotary, and we want to recognize them for their efforts other than financial. So I want to open up that topic to the group.
Hey, April, so I would suggest that if you have members in your club that are really doing some outstanding work, maybe you let District Governor Vin or whoever the district governor at the time is know, and they can present them with a citation. And to be even better, they can come to the club personally.
Yes, Dave Mangs used to do that. Right, Dave?
I
Yeah.
got one.
Yeah, I did too, and that's how I know it. He came to our Rotary Club. He had gotten information on various Rotarians in advance of coming to the club. He had all his certificates all made out, and then he called people up and presented it to them.
That's
And
right.
it was a really great thing.
Yeah, I was hoping that will be an ongoing tradition of all
Yeah,
future
that was a
district
great
governors.
thing, Dave.
Am I muted?
Did that too.
Okay.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, good. What happened was it was just amazing. Each club I'd go to, and I know, April, you still have my district governor thing. You mentioned that, I
On my
would
wall.
get a folder to make it, more attractive. I went to, our Rotary group, for, the company that sells us stuff. What is it again?
Russell Hampton.
Yeah, and I ordered, I think, 150, 180 of these. I wanted to be sure I had enough of them. I got a calligraphy pen. I don't have the best penmanship in the world, and sometimes my secretary made it out. She has a much better penmanship if I had the names beforehand. But a lot of times you can't get them. So I would come in early to the meeting and ask the president, who were the 2 or 3 unsung heroes in your club, the ones that really just make everything happen. They don't get a lot of recognition, but they're the worker bees that are the glue that keeps this club together. Who are these people? And then I would get their names and I'd say, what in particular are they renowned for? And each one had something different they were doing. It might be a fundraiser, it might be, setting up service projects of one kind or another. But they all had a reason the president selected them, and I would write that into the district governor citation. So I'm busy writing before the meeting, and I've got to get all of this stuff done if I have it at last minute. And then at the end of the meeting, I'd say there's certain very, very special Rotarians I'd like to come forward. And I'd mention their names and then read the words from the citation. And we're very pleased to give you a district governor citation for your service above self. That's really what it's about, for the service above self that you demonstrated in this club. And wow, it was, people would come up, there'd be pictures, things were, when it went out into the local, press, you talk about public image. This is a simple way to make it happen. This is a photo op ready for, the local media, Facebook, the rest of it. And,
Absolutely.
And there's something about, we don't do enough thank yous. I think thank yous are so incredibly important, especially for the unsung heroes that, kind of get lost in the shuffle. There's many Rotarians, maybe, Milt and I might be one of them. We talk too much. We seem to take over things, and there's the silent, the silent majority out there that are really are the boots on the ground that make things happen. And they deserve that moment of glory, and it means a lot to them. And they just adds to the enthusiasm in the club and everybody. I mean, people would swarm around with their cameras taking pictures.
Yeah, that's great. I know, and I
it's
appreciated that
not,
myself.
not about
yeah.
me, but it's about really them.
I agree. Who else? I got some people I haven't heard from this evening. I'm not going to call names, but anyone else have any ideas out there?
April, I'd like to remind people that last year we did start the Rotarian of the Year Award.
Oh,
That
yes.
application and guidelines are on the website, and there'll be a write-up in this coming newsletter.
Okay.
And we have to promote that. Everyone in this meeting and others, AGs, it doesn't matter. We need to be looking around to look for people who are doing great work. That regular Rotarian that like you've talked about that often don't get recognized. I know this is only one award, not many, as when governors go to the clubs, what Dave and Sue did, and I did a few at the district conference, but to do somebody who's really doing great work. So that is another way that we can recognize someone doing stellar work in the district. So I just want to remind people of that. It's brand new. We only have one, but the page will go on the website with the description of it, and with Lyman Louis up there, obviously, as our first recipient.
That's awesome. Thank you. Absolutely. I agree.
One thing I found when I was running around is a few clubs actually go into the community and they identify those who deserve recognition. you know, and
Mhm.
they'll give a Paul Harris
Mhm.
in recognition of this thing, and it becomes a big deal. Newington just did one for a you know, a very special you know, his friend client of mine, and
Mhm.
you know,
Yep.
who's actually blind and continuing to work. And he's just
Mhm.
an inspiration to people around him. And you know what ends up happening is it becomes kind of a fundraiser in a way.
Yeah.
You know,
A
you
lot of
Yeah,
invite
clubs do
people
we
to
that,
the
yes.
dinner
Yeah.
because they know this
Mhm.
guy. You know, it might be
Mhm.
somebody tied with the town government. It could be a police officer. It could be more
Mhm.
than one. And as a result, you know, there's a lot of publicity that happens around that event that has Rotary symbols in it all over the place. And this is you know, Paul Harris recognition for community leaders of some kind. And you know, what
Yeah.
the trick is just like in a club, you try to find those people that everybody loves, and that really is the glue that holds everybody together. It's you know, it's same thing in a community. You know, when we are community based, to find
Yeah.
those people that deserve that kind of recognition and turn it into a fundraiser. You know, their family's going to be there, other people are going to be there, and it's a chance that you can also add more members to the club too, because now you're reaching out beyond the walls of Rotary and bringing a whole lot of people to an event that you know, is there to recognize. And you talk about what the Paul Harris means and the kinds of good that this does in the world, and what a wonderful way to honor you. And you know, maybe there's a plaque. You know, there's a plaque too that they
Mhm.
get. And
Yep, we do the same thing in my club. We have an honorary Rotarian of the Year as well as a Rotarian of the Year. So, but I don't want
Everybody does
to,
this. Yeah, service
I
above
want to
self
move
luncheon
on
too. Huge.
to Christine. I promised you a few
Mhm.
minutes to talk about the environmental committee, so I'm going to stop sharing so everyone can see your beautiful face.
That's okay. Yeah, thank you. So as you
Yeah.
know, it was one of my dreams to get an environmental committee kicked off during my governor year, which obviously didn't happen. But we have started, and we had our first soft start, and that was with the Source to Sea Connecticut River cleanup. We had we partnered with the Connecticut River Conservatory, and we had two clubs that adopted a whole section of the Connecticut River on the weekend. It happens. It happens the last weekend in September, from all the way from Canada down to the Long Island Sound, because that's the whole length of the Connecticut River, and it's the end of the summer cleanup. So my club, along with a member of the Chicopee Club, picked up in 2 hours over 217 pounds of trash, because you have to weigh it and then you report online. The Springfield Club adopted a site in Agawam, and they did it as well. They had a couple dozen people, and it was our soft start. The we are we in Governor Randy's year, we signed on as a district to Operation Pollination, and we did a little bit of promoting that with clubs to help them so that they can promote their project in the community. Also, Rick Lawrence has told us that he is, you know, not getting any younger, just like all the rest of us, and that he is looking for someone to succeed him in his Guatemalan water project. So the reason I'm saying all of this is it's not one facet. We all have different interests, but I use the Connecticut River cleanup to as our soft start, to announce that in the newsletter. And on November 5th, we are going to have a Zoom, and I guess kind of like your Way Ahead group, April, where we say this is only informational. These are the things. Does anybody have an interest in being part of this? Right. I am really looking to have the Connecticut River cleanup be an annual event in our district and have clubs adopt, you know, a little section. This is a wonderful opportunity because it doesn't cost a penny. They gave us all the free t-shirts, all the trash bags, all the gloves, um, even leather gloves for if you're picking up needles or whatever. Our only cost was I bought coffee and donuts for our volunteers. But it's a great way for clubs to get out there. And we do have our early spring day of service, but it does get quieter in the fall. And depending on how a club approached this, because of the time of year it is, they could even use grant money if they wanted to work a district grant into it. So I'm kind of really excited about that. You can read about it in the newsletter, but I will be sending out an invite with the Zoom link. It'll, like I said, November 5th, it'll be very similar to this Way Ahead group, but specifically looking for interest on environmental issues. We don't want to tell clubs what to do, but we know there's all something. For instance, the Enfield Club has the Common Grounds, which is community gardens that is pretty much just they give the food away to the community, and they actually didn't participate in the cleanup because they were putting irrigation in to their garden on that same day. So I'm happy to answer any questions about this, but it is in the infancy right now. But I'm looking forward to it to growing, and hopefully many clubs that have projects will at least have somebody join us on this committee, and we'll be able to speak to clubs that want more information as speakers and different things. So anyway, that's it.
Christine, I know we talked about this. I probably could have done a lot more for the district than I did, but I just want to remind you that in the West Hartford Club, we did do an environmental project. I believe it's an environmental one where we used hydroponics. And, Hartford is one of the lowest per capita cities in the country. I think it's like seventh from the bottom or something like this. And, very segregated. And we we used a hydroponics nonprofit group that we have in West Hartford to produce food. There's a fence around the entire thing, and the money ends up going into a food bank. They sell some of it, and it also goes into the food bank for the homeless. I think that's an environmental project. It seems.
No, it is, yeah, and I know about that project. Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah,
but we haven't done anything, Dave, as an environmental committee for the district to guide clubs who want more information, and that's where that we want to kind of have it be more rounded and not just a club thing. We want to provide a resource to clubs. Joanne, is this a question for me, Joanne? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a question or just a mention, but I did want to mention that in 21-22, in the year of 100 years of Rotary District 7890, we did ask our clubs to plant a tree in honor of the 100 years, and we planted way over 100 trees during that year. So that was a great environmental project as well. And that definitely is, planting trees is definitely in favor of the environment. So I just wanted to mention that. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. I love the water cleanup. I think that was a fabulous project. I saw a lot of pictures from Oscar's Springfield Rotary Club, where they had all the bags lined up along the bank of everything that they pulled out of the water. The Southington Rotary Club used to do a cleanup on the Quinnipiac River in Southington. Brendan will remember that. That was headed up by Dolores Finelli many years ago. So I think, Rotary's had their eye on the environment. And I do believe, though, that now that you're taking these steps forward to turn this into an actual committee and start to put something together is a really, really good move. So thanks for doing that, Christine.
Yes.
Thank you, Joanne. And one of the things I want to let you know is not only do we want to provide guidance, because if for anybody's been to my house, you cannot say that, we're 100% organic. I grow a lot of food. We compost, all of that stuff. But we also want to, get people to know that about planting native plants, right? And that are really going to help the environment, because not everything does that you plant, and again, the water project in Guatemala, that is huge. So we're in infancy, and we're going to recognize clubs. Agawam has a great pollinator garden they put in with a district grant last year. Many clubs are trying to do it, but I think that as a district, we can provide some guidance, and that's another way for us to promote what we're doing as a district and all of our clubs. So, Brendan, yeah.
Yeah, Christine, my thoughts to kind of inspire clubs to work together, kind of regionalize it, because like the project that you did up in Mass, wonderful project, but unfortunately you're not going to get folks from Salisbury to come to Northern Mass, that kind of thing. So, but if we could do it maybe in the area, each area maybe has a project that all the clubs in the area work together on. That might be an idea. It might add some synergy. It might add some resources to make a project successful. I know there's some clubs that do a great job, but there's some clubs that kind of struggle. And if they can partner with neighboring clubs on a project, it might be a win. So just an idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Brendan. And we really want clubs to start to work together. I was thrilled to have someone from Chicopee come. We didn't know she was coming. She had you could register online, so we'd know how many, but she just showed up. I was thrilled. But and as Joanne said, that they did one on the Quinnipiac. Is that what you said, Joanne?
Yeah.
River.
Yep.
So
Quinnipiac
whereas
River.
the Connecticut River Conservatory does sponsor this event and gives us all these resources, I was talking with I don't remember who, I'm sorry. But about, maybe everybody does a water cleanup on that day, but it's near them, right? And clubs, so it's something that that I'm still looking at, but I was just happy to have something started, like just something begun. So,
Something
but yeah,
done,
absolutely.
yes.
We're going to promote it as a collaboration and, get everybody out down and dirty, so to speak. We had a lot of
Mhm.
pictures on Facebook as well, our club. And by the way, anybody in this group who is on social media who does not like our district Facebook page, please do, because I often post on it. Along with Rebecca, not just her, I do too. And I try to tag people so they can share it on their personal page. And some people aren't coming up because they are not even a friend of our district. And I know they're on social media. So it's
Mhm.
something to think about if you are on like our Rotary District 7890 page. And if you see something, share it. And you can say something simple like grateful member, proud member of the Southington Rotary, Ludlow Rotary, whatever. You don't have to say a lot.
Mhm. Yeah.
But that definitely helps because I see all of our analytics and I'm all about using social media to promote, and our Facebook page is already linked to our Instagram page. They're owned by the same Zuckerberg, and they automatically post to both. But the reality is they're not seen very much. We don't have a lot of friends and we don't get a lot of shares. And the shares are very important.
Mhm. Agreed. And yeah, and thank you, Christine, because you've really stepped up our game on social media, on Facebook in particular, social media. So thank you. And speaking of which, well, not speaking of which, but kind of reminded me, I just want to make a shameless plug. If you know who your president-elect, your president for next year is going to be, please enter them in Club Runner. Pretty please, with cherries on top. I'm trying to reach out to the president-elects, but if they're not in Club Runner, I don't know who they are, and I want to be friends with them now. So please put them in Club Runner. That would make my life so much easier. So I want to be besties with your PEs. So that would be fantastic. And for any AGs on the call, please tell your clubs. That would be fantastic. Yes, please. Shameless plug. So thank you, Christine. And as usual, just so if anyone doesn't know, that's actually Christine's garden in her background. And Eileen, hi.
Hello. I know we're going to close soon. And
Yes.
Prasad and I and the foundation committee have been very, very busy working on the
Yes.
foundation brunch.
Mhm.
And it's going to be very exciting. The
Mhm.
hotel where we're having it has won a huge award for their food, their service and everything. But there's some people who like to wait to the day before to register and they just show up. And last year that happened and we ran out of food. So we don't want that to happen. So if we'd like to have everybody who can possibly go to come to the foundation brunch, it's a way to, it's networking, it's having obviously fabulous food. You're going to have a chance to win a Paul Harris Fellowship or increase your level. That's in the offing. And we're going to be honoring some wonderful people who have been, and clubs who have been real supporters of the Rotary Foundation. And it's a great way, when I was talking to, I don't remember, must have been Prasad, because I've been on the computer, all week. There are kind of two get-togethers we have where you get a lot of the district together. You got the district conference and you have the foundation brunch, one in the spring and one in the fall. So I kind of see this as fall get together. It's a way to see your friends, to make new friends, to network, just have a good time. It's really a relaxing Sunday, and then you have the rest of the day, and you don't have to travel in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night.
Yes,
Yay.
agree.
Please register. Don't
We
don't
did that
wait.
many years.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do want to thank Christine for bringing to everyone's attention that Rick Lawrence needs a succession plan. You know, he started the year I was president of the West Hartford Rotary Club. I just love his project. I think it's one of the best things the district's ever done. You know, it clearly needs, you know, I talked to him repeatedly over the years. You've got to have a succession plan, and now he's finally looking for one, but he needs a person. You know, somebody that can kind of like, you know, tailgate on his success and understand all the contacts he's made, you know, down in Guatemala with different Rotary clubs, with all the different projects that have gone in there. It may be that we really almost need a committee for that, you know, because he goes to Guatemala himself. He's a one-man army.
So Dave,
and
I've had long talks with Rick about it not being a couple or an individual because it's not sustainable.
Right.
Because nobody has the information except him. So
That's
that is
right.
one of the reasons our environmental committee is gonna work. We're gonna talk about taking on that project and as the district lead. Okay. Now there may be someone in the committee who is the lead, right? But it won't be compartmentalized information. Whereas we have no contacts with any of these other districts. We don't have anything at all. So that is a high priority. And April and Vin both know this. And EJ, I don't think he's here, but we have talked about this. That it is not sustainable the way it has been. So that'll
Right.
be a hot topic in our environmental committee.
Yep. I mean, Rick has to be, you know, almost needs monthly meetings where he lays out, puts in writing who the contact people are at the current time, but they're going to change over time. And that's why you have to stay on top of this thing. You know, what are the different Rotary clubs that are contributing to this thing? He's been all over God's creation. He's a one-man army, you know, and I love what he's done in Guatemala. It's absolutely, you know,
It is
brings tears
fantastic.
to your eyes. You know, so, you know, somehow we just have to get him so that he's almost leading a group in a way, and then identify from the group, you know, some people that can take different parts of the job that he's doing and see how it all falls together. And that's probably the best way to institutionalize what is a total success for the district here.
Absolutely, I agree. And we are at the top of the hour. So I'm going to close out just by saying that, first of all, I will send out notes by the end of the weekend from our meeting tonight. And what I'd ask, and I'll send it to everybody, but what I'd ask for you committed Rotarians who are here this evening, please, if you have any interest in any of the groups that we spoke about this evening, please let me or the other contacts that I'll indicate in this evening's notes, please reach out to us so we can start having some smaller group think tanks that are focused on some of these areas that you may be passionate about. And even more so, please, you know, if you know somebody in your club or your area who may be passionate about one of these, who you think may want to join, have them reach out or you know, give us their name. Maybe we can pitch it to them, whatever. Just let's get people on board. So, you know, I will schedule another meeting before the holidays. We don't want to cram too much into that season, but yeah, Vin, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
boss.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I have a goal of networking all of our Interact clubs. So that now we can meet virtually, which in the past we couldn't. And I'd like to get a hold of all the presidents of the Interact clubs, and our
Great.
youth committee will be working on that to develop a network with the goals of having a district-wide, not only a district-wide Interact conference, but also a district-wide possible service project that the young people can actually direct.
That's a great idea, Ben.
Oftentimes,
Awesome.
it's the adults that are doing it. We want to enable our young people who are very capable of doing of creative ideas. So putting them together would be a great thing. Just the way you're doing this tonight, we'd like to have the same types of things with anybody that's interested in young people. As you know-
I thought there was a meeting next week, isn't there? You know, kind of a youth
There
services. You know, can I get an email on that? I was just looking for my email and
Charlie,
the
do you know
Zoom.
Charlie Copeland?
Charlie, no,
Yeah.
I should, but
Charlie
Yeah.
is directing that. I don't have the information on the meeting.
okay.
I know there's a meeting of the executive committees
Mhm.
next week.
Okay.
And the youth committee and the conference committee, the foundation committee and the membership committee are meeting in between, and then they're gonna make a report. So that meeting for executives is just basically reporting on what they've done during the month.
Dave,
Okay.
I'll send a message to you and Charlie so you guys can have each other's information.
Okay,
I'll do
good.
that in a minute, okay?
Thank you, Christine.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here and off to your particular Netflix lineup for the evening. And I will be in touch very shortly. But again, thank you for being committed to Rotary. And
night,
I
all.
hope to see you all on November 3rd at the foundation event.
And keep,
Yeah.
Take
keep Frank
care.
Wargo in your thoughts and prayers.
That's right. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Vin.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Good night, all.
Right.
Everyone.